Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Every week, you can have the conversations you've always wanted to have about the films you love.
Shut up!
We're gonna get you, not another peep.
Get rid of your distractions and prepare yourself.
Fold and lock your door. 5, 6, gonna crucifix.
You got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere.
All right, welcome everybody to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Danny Bonin here with you.
And Scotty Boner here with you.
We are the Blood Brothers. And Rob O'Neill.
Yes.
You guys, we have some awesome guests for you today.
Very special episode.
Yeah, we are interviewing Rich Ragsdale, who is the director of the film Ghost House, and James Landry Hebert, who is the star of the film Ghost House on Netflix.
Yeah, here we go.
So,
all right.
Howdy,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Oh,
Hey,
man. Well, we couldn't be more excited to be here. It's an honor, really. The experience that Ghost House was in Thailand was just the most incredible experience of my life. So, for folks to want to talk about it is the best thing in the world. Thank you.
It seems like you got, and I don't know how much time you spent over there. Well, you, James, you might have just done this film there, or Rich, if you've been over there. But it seems like there's a community because we got you guys through Russell, and he's recommended like a couple other filmmakers we've interviewed already. And so it's almost like there's this little community over there in Bangkok that's just making films.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It seemed like it very much when I showed up. I think Rich and his brother Kevin know a lot more about that.
Yeah.
One of them's even got some Thai babies. So.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
Oh, yeah, working it over there.
Yeah, my brother Kev, he's married to a Thai woman, and they have a little one, and that's actually what sort of brought us over there in the first place, was to sort of, he was bringing his son over to Thailand to meet the extended family, and my girlfriend and I tagged along, and we had a bunch of like really strange, interesting experiences over there. When we came back, a lot of them, we sort of, took a bunch of these ideas and started shaping them into what would become Ghost House. So,
wow. Yeah, so that would be a question, is like they have those little ghost houses, they have them there, like you see them there?
Yeah, they're everywhere. I mean, they're literally everywhere. Just almost no one doesn't have one. They're outside of banks, they're outside of hotels, they're outside of everybody's houses.
Yeah, they're like as common as mailboxes, but like a miniature version of the house, like a birdhouse.
Totally.
Wow.
And for the most part, they're not considered like a scary thing. They're very kind of sacred, like your ancestors' ghosts might live in them or something. But if it goes wrong, if you get a bad ghost in one, you have to call the monks out and all that. It can be quite bad, very scary.
No shit. So that's like
and
that's
if
like
I wasn't
real.
a believer before, I am now. I mean,
well, of course, going through what you guys went through. Man.
The basic idea, the whole kernel of the film, the idea came from like when we first went over there. I had my girlfriend with me, and she had very bad jet lag, and so I was trying to get her out and get her walking around so that she could get on schedule. And we went for a walk out in the jungle, and we came across this place where all the locals in this little town had thrown away all these old ghost houses, and we're like taking
ghost
pictures.
House graveyard.
A ghost house, just like in the film. Yeah, so we're taking pictures and kind of poking around, looking inside, and I was like, this is probably a very bad idea, but might make for a good movie. So that was really the kernel of the idea. It came from stuff that happened to us over there.
And Ange, his old lady, I mean that in the best way possible, is she's a photographer, much like a Scout's character in the movie. So I just thought that was a really cool little piece of trivia, and you know, playing these guys, I feel like Jim in Ghost House is Rich in some ways. I guess now he's a hybrid of Rich and I, but to have him and her there with Scout and I, them having taken this journey before, I mean, it was just, we were so lucky to have them having, lived that life. And I think us being in Thailand for the first time, the feelings that we were having, the experiences that we were having were very much the same thing our characters were going through. So art just met life in ways I never knew possible.
So that was your first time there, James, then, right?
It was my first time out of the country or out of North America, and
wow,
it just made it that much more incredible. I mean, it was Jim was sort of a fish out of water there. And
totally.
And so was I,
Yeah. So it worked perfectly. Yeah. For your character and for you. Cause you did the character.
Yeah. It
great.
wasn't hard, right?
Yeah. No, I had my work cut out for me, and we just had to be there. So, to go to Thailand to go do a movie like this, we were there for, I want to say like a month or so.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was principal photography on that, Rich? Was that?
So I think we shot for 22 days, 21 days, something like that. And I had been there for a month and a half or so before everybody came over, just like doing all the location scouting. And it was like we were casting and, back in the States and designing the ghost and all that. And I was doing all that stuff, like remotely.
Sure.
But the cast was there probably, I would guess, about a month, right, James?
Yeah.
Because there were a couple days before we started and a couple days after.
It would have been a lot longer if our producer, Veronica Rodelli, didn't make me get on the plane and leave. I was like, I felt like Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder. I was like, no, stay here.
I don't want to leave.
You don't understand. This is my home now. And she's like, your managers are going to kill me. Get on that plane.
Get the fuck out of here.
We need you back in L.A.
Stop anywhere. I don't care if he says it's for a pack of cigarettes. You get him to that airport.
It's that's not an exaggeration either, guys.
No. It's like
I was
fucking.
like, okay, V, I'll see what I can do. I'm slowly packing and just trying to miss my flight. She knocks on my door with somebody else from the film. Actually, who was it? It was Ian, because Ian, my boy, the makeup artist who did the Watabi Monster, incredible makeup artist who was on Face Off.
Yeah. Okay.
From that, he's like long hair, blonde, pale faced, sharp eyes. Bones like knives.
I was watching some of the featurettes and I saw him. That was really cool.
Westworld after this, and Ian did my makeup for Slim Miller on Westworld.
Nice.
With Christian Tinsley, who's just a god in the makeup business.
Yeah.
I'm a big Westworld fan too.
Sorry.
No,
I don't know if you've seen Ian lately, James, but he's cut all his hair off now.
I know. He texted me a picture. He was shooting bow and arrows. Coincidentally, I was shooting bow and arrows with my two native friends who were in town from Toronto. Serene Fox, she hosts a show called Rise on Viceland. It's an incredible show about indigenous issues, or she visits different reservations. And I was actually adopted by Native Americans, grew up on an Indian reservation.
Wow.
And so that was our connection. And man, I probably would have died at Standing Rock if it weren't for her. She was my inside girl there. But we were trying to link up to shoot bow and arrows, and we never did. But we were just texting last week, and we have big plans to go on this archery hunt hike type thing that they have at this place here in LA. It's like a hike, but they have like big rubber like Tyrannosaurus Rex and stuff that you can shoot with your bow and arrow.
Nice.
It's really fun.
That's badass.
That's freaking cool, man. Wow. So Rich, you're saying that this sort of came to you while you're in Thailand, walking around. I mean, how from that first thought to screenplay, like how long was that process?
Probably, what happened was we came back from Thailand and we actually had an opportunity to pitch an idea at Fox, and we really didn't have anything set up. And so my brother and they had like a low budget film division they were trying to launch. And so we came up with the idea for Ghost House. I mean, kind of almost on the fly. And it didn't really land with them, but we were like, this is a cool idea.
Sure.
So we decided to chase it down. But I would say from like the trip over to starting production was probably about 2 years, maybe,
Okay.
you know, like, you know, it had to, the idea had to gestate for a while, and then we started working with some writers and got a screenplay together.
And how did you guys how did James come about? Did you have James in mind already? Did you guys know each other before this?
We did not know each other. There was actually, we had talked to another guy about being in the film, but he wasn't really right. And so when I was in Thailand, we started calling around and be like, we need somebody else, you know, and a number of producer friends of ours had recommended James. And it was kind of weird because it was like some producers from one film recommended James, some producers from another, and also Veronica, who was one of our producers, had just worked with James on a film called Blue Jay. So
no, that's nice. I mean, it turned out great.
We were lucky. We were lucky we got him. You know, James just kind of came on board.
I got to say, James, I mean, I dig the work on this film. I last night, it's been on my queue for a while, not this movie, but Carnage Park. And then we were going to do this interview today. And I was like, oh man, I should just fucking watch that tonight. Just so I got it in my head. And dude, but you fucking killed it in Carnage Park. That was awesome.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, Scorpion Joe was one of the most fun characters I've ever played in Carnage Park. He just writes these really fun characters character actors to go nuts on. And we did another movie called Psychopaths together after that. But speaking of Psychopaths, Rich Ragsdale is somehow like at the same time you know, one of the sweetest and most badass dude that I know. I mean, I love this guy to death, and I wouldn't have rather been going through the jungles of Thailand with anyone else.
Well, I thought your character as Jim was just astounding too. It was awesome. Like, you know, you're just crazy. You're this guy that's touristing through Thailand, and then all this shit goes down, and these English guys are here, and just the way you reacted to everything. I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah, and if you guys listening, I mean, aren't familiar with James's work, I mean, he was just in Stranger Things. Check out Carnage Park. This film, Westworld. I mean, you seems like you're like on the rise here, James.
Thanks, pal. I am so grateful and to have had the opportunity to read for some of these just incredible shows and movies, and to read for these, like, I've been so lucky to get these like really fun characters, you know, characters that I'm just like, wow, me really? Okay, I'm gonna give it everything I got.
Let's do it.
And you know, like I said, I have my work cut out for me on Ghost House. I'm such a perfectionist. I always feel like I could be better, but I'm just so lucky to live in these worlds and these characters. And speaking of characters, Jim in Ghost House is the first time I've really played the straight. You know,
like the good guy.
Yeah, you are the good guy.
Usually a character, but it was just such a. And it couldn't have come at a better time. But to be just Jim and just James and you know, find those parts of Rich and me and Rich and try to demonstrate that with Jim. I'm so grateful that somebody took a chance on me to not only play the straight, but to play the character that is them. You know, it'd be like somebody playing me in my true story. That takes a lot of trust and belief, and for that I'm forever grateful, and to be surrounded by actors like Scout Taylor Compton, who's, I mean, already as young as she is, she's a veteran in the horror genre, and she's just so good, man. I really got to like work up to it.
She was great. She was really good.
And she can just turn it on and off like that. I mean, she is just such a pro. I was so impressed with her, and she was someone else in addition to these producers like Veronica Rodelli, who recommended me for this film. We had did a film called Get the Girl right before this, and we Eric England directed it. We're friends with some of the folks involved, and we came on to play supporting roles in that. But we were kind of like, we had this like brother-sister relationship in this movie, and we would always kind of fight and nag at each other. But we just loved hanging out. The chemistry was there, and so she threw my name in the hat as well, and again, I just could not be more grateful.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And just speaking of actors, Russell Jeffrey Banks, Rich, what was Rich's last name?
Gray.
Rich Gray, yeah. And then there was Katrina Gray as well, right? One with an A.
Oh no, maybe it's Katrina Gray. Yeah, Rich. Rich and Katrina and Russell. They were all locally cast in Thailand.
And I was just so impressed with them. They were so good, and they were such good guys. I just loved hanging out with them. I look forward to seeing what they do next.
Yeah, and, like I said, we got you guys from.
Hope we get to do it again.
Yeah, from talking to Russell. We talked to him about his newer film, Who's Watching Oliver, which is fucking crazy. It's not released yet, but really, really fucked up movie, but awesome movie.
Oh man, I got to check that out.
He's to see him in Ghost House after watching that movie. He's because he's a normal, albeit an asshole, but he's a normal guy in Ghost House, and he plays this psychopath fucking. Nerd guy.
And Who's Watching Oliver.
It's pretty cool.
Thick glasses.
I love that guy. He is so good. I'm going to put a log on the fire for Russell Jeffrey Banks.
Yeah. The funny thing is that James tends to play all these villains in all these movies and shows and stuff. And the funny thing is that James is probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I mean,
Shoot, if that ain't the pot calling the kettle black, I don't know.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's just
put another log in there
because it's like James is super sweet and very sensitive to everybody else's feelings and stuff. And so it's like, he's a pleasure to be around because of that. But then he plays these total evil guys, all the time. Yeah. So we're kind of stoked that at least we got him, before he becomes a leading man. He
was the first leading man in your film.
You saw something in me I don't think I even saw in myself. And again, just forever.
Well, we're lucky.
You making me a leading man. First,
Rob, you still back there pumping out some knuckle children? What's going on?
That's what I'm doing. I was just sitting there, just my inspiration was I just don't know how Jim let Russell get him in a headlock like that.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
That was tough. Dude, hey, in real
I mean, that was just like MMA. Took him to the ground. Changed his whole attitude about what he thought he was going to do.
He was so gay. To me, film is forever. You know what I mean? And it comes to that stuff. I'm like, man, if I get hurt while you're rolling, do not stop rolling.
Keep it going.
It's not worth it. I'm like,
totally.
It's a bad thing and a good thing, and that's the power of acting for me. Especially dramatic acting. You can take any bad experience, any experience, and it pushes you to just experience life to the fullest, the highest highs, lowest lows, and you can take those bad things and use them for as a performance piece, and then all of a sudden that sense memory is not associated with something bad that happened to you. Now it's associated with the great performance in a movie. And that power is what really turned me on to what I often joke is my art therapy.
Yeah.
And I work with this guy, Josh Barron. I mean, if you're an actor, he's my secret weapon. You could just Google him, joshbarron.com or something like that. But he's my not so secret weapon now. But
you really gave it
highlighted, up. Just how art was meeting life for me there in Thailand, I don't like to do anything without looking at it first, because he just understands humanity and storytelling and people and emotions just on another level, and that something is like a cartoon on the page to me, and by the end of it I'm going in there to work out something in my own mind.
Yeah.
Whether it's an audition, whether I get it or not, it's like
Yeah. Well,
it's a really it's a powerful thing for me.
that's cool. You got to have something to inspire you,
Yeah.
So
definitely.
what? Hey, Rich. What? So, had you filmed in Thailand before, or was this a project to get this all together, or did it actually come together pretty easily for at least as location wise?
No, it was very difficult. I mean, like the fact of the matter is, it's a very, very low budget movie. We tried to make it look as big and expensive as possible, but
you did so much with so little. It's really incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
So it was kind of like force of will to make it happen, but it was just like, I mean, literally, like I got, you have to partner with a production company in Thailand to be able to shoot in Thailand.
Sure.
So we did with this company called Benetton Films. And I mean, like I literally got off the plane, like an 18-hour flight over there, and they met me at my hotel and they were like, come on, let's start, So it's just it was just like from day one, it was just like looking for locations, working on the production design and stuff. And the crews in Thailand are amazing. It's a real production hub for Southeast Asia. So, but it was tough. I mean, it's like we basically had to struggle for everything, but we got stuff like we got to shoot in the airport and stuff. So it just looks really big.
I mean, I felt like I was in a James Bond movie.
Totally. And we milked it.
I believe.
But the problem is we only had we only got like 4 hours in the airport. That's all we could afford. We had to shoot 4 or 5 scenes.
Were all those
so exciting?
Were all those extras that you had like talked to, or did you use some just background people?
There are some extras, and then there are some people that are just in the airport.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you put the signs up. You're like, we're filming.
I bet.
And if you watch like James when he's running through the airport, he's like bumping into people. And
Yeah.
I don't think those were our extras.
Just get out of my way.
That was so much fun. Just leaving through. That was like one of the.
Just feeling it, let it happen. That's so cool.
I never felt like a leading man.
Totally.
And then. In that moment, in true Thailand style, so it's like we had like about 4 hours to shoot all these scenes in the airport, and the beginning and the ending of the film, and James getting in the fight and all that stuff, and we were running low on time, so we that monitor that worked for the airport, that was we put him in the movie, and he gave us an extra hour.
Oh, nice.
So he's the guy that's like chasing after James with the walkie-talkie at the end of the fight. So that's sort of how you have to work shooting in Thailand. There's a lot of that kind of negotiation.
You had to get yourself a strip club too, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah. We got, and and even Boone's Club. That's
the red room. Is that like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was like a real
Mark Boone Jr.
Yeah.
That was a real functioning brothel, actually, that we shot in. Yeah, and it was pretty gnarly. It
looked gnarly.
That was such a cool. I love that segment. The slow-mo and the red rooms, and Ian Cromer from Face Off, the makeup artist I mentioned before. He was actually in one of those rooms. He volunteered.
No shit.
Yeah, he's the guy getting punched in the face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Girls, it was like punching him in the face over and over.
Just for no reason.
Man, that hit looked so good.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
I get off and punching him in the face.
Well, I mean, those kind of places sort of exist. I mean, that was kind of the idea, is that like we go to Pattaya, where there's the big, like outdoor, like it's almost like a Las Vegas red light district.
Sure.
Lots of neon and lots of strip clubs and stuff. But then there are these other places where these expats, like Boone's character, will go, and they're just, they're very underground and very seedy. And we wanted to have that kind of like you think you've been to the sort of seedy part of Thailand, but you have no idea, So we have to kind of sink deeper and deeper, in the attempt to figure out what's wrong with Julie. And stuff, so.
Yeah. I almost totally forgot about Boone in there. So how is that working with him? I mean, he's pretty veteran too. We got our Sons of Anarchy fans here.
With Mark Boone Jr. I mean, that was very, very fun. Just going through the jungle and the River Kwai, those boats that we had under the bridge.
Wow,
that was one of the most.
We've known Boone for a while.
Have you?
So it wasn't that hard to convince him to do it.
Have you worked with him before on other projects?
Yeah, my brother had, he's produced a couple things that Boone was in, and same with Veronica. So and I had actually I directed second unit on a Western thing he was in. So it was like, like we knew Boone. So, but it's interesting because it's like, he comes over to Thailand and we go out to these night markets with him, and Sons of Anarchy had just ended, and you couldn't go anywhere without him being recognized. It was like being with a Beatle or something.
Really? Even in Thailand, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, totally. They just all be like, "Oh, Bubby Elvis."
That's funny, man. Wow.
So, yeah, boom.
He fit that character so well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's great.
God. So you guys got to film everywhere in the city, in the markets, in the rural areas, in
jungle,
in the jungle. Yeah. Man.
Yeah, we got the full experience.
Yeah, totally.
It's beautiful down there too, right?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, I think on most low budget movies, like the conventional wisdom is to sort of stick to like one or two locations, get a house out in the woods, and and we just decided, no, we had a company move just about every day, or there are a couple places we shot for like more than a day, but not many.
It was just an adventure.
Yeah,
it was a village that we shot in.
Oh yeah,
with those kids. Oh my God, they were just.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that location. That's where you first take Scout when she's quote unquote sick, right?
Yeah.
Western medicine's not working, and then Go convinces us to take her to a medicine woman, and man, that village, those people, it was just. Oh man, I want to go back there.
Totally.
I mean, they all live
there.
Those
kids
right?
all live there.
We're not like culturally conditioned like we are,
totally.
And they're so.
And they actually slept on like your legs too. They like woke up. You woke up and sleeping on you.
Puppies. Like that was just the sweetest thing. I was like, man, I want to have Thai babies after this.
Yeah, all those kids lived there. Even one of the women, one of them was an actress that's the one that's kind of praying over Scout, and the other one was a woman that lived there, and a bunch of the all the extras. They all lived in that little village.
James,
like very authentic.
That's so cool.
James, for enough money,
those kids were like Mowgli or something.
Yeah, Mowgli from Jungle Book. Yeah.
James, you probably could have headed back to the strip club and arranged to have Thai babies. I'm guessing.
Oh man, I want a nice girl from the village. It was like pretty, mind blowing. Seeing what Bangkok was like, but for me, man, the more rural parts when we headed north to the jungle and the river and all that stuff, that was.
That's the magic.
I mean, it was a spiritual experience for me. And there was a Muay Thai fighter who, after everything we went through, she was like, you should get a protective blessing. It's called Gao Yord that these monks do. They bamboo them into your back. And it's a bunch of little protective prayers and stuff like that. And a lot of the Muay Thai fighters have them.
Yeah.
But her name is Jade Marissa, I think, Simpson, or man, I'm butchering it, but her dad is Mr. Woody, who is like the godfather of Muay Thai. He kind of brought Muay Thai to the rest of the world, and anybody in Muay Thai, I think, knows who Mr. Woody is.
Sure.
And so the guy who played Gogo, Mike New, he brought us to a Muay Thai fight where we met Jade, and then the night after the rap party, we were all supposed to go get these protective blessings, and nobody got up in the morning, and I was bummed out at first, and then it was really one of the most spiritual experiences in my life. I met her at this temple, and she brought me to this monk that won't tattoo just anybody. I kind of had to plead my case, and
shit.
Then he wanted me to do it in black, and I was like, no, I want to do it in white ink, and he was like, no, the black would really pop on your white skin. The Thai guys are, a lot more tan than my pale face, and I quoted a line from the movie, which was, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. I want to say Mark Boone's character said something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if it made the final cut, but it really resonated with me, and he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, nice. Yes, I think he's going to do it. And, man, it hurt at first. And then it started to feel like a release. Each prick of the bamboo was like, I felt like I was getting the evil out and feeling it.
So did he do it in white?
I think it makes you invincible, and I could tell you I'm not invincible, but it does cause me to make a lot less fear-based decisions.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Feel a little more.
So did he do it in white? Did you get it in white?
I got it in white,
Nice.
and makeup artists love it because they're like, it's easy to cover up.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Scout, for example, has a tattoo of she loves Disney, and she's an incredible artist and draws a lot of characters and stuff, and has one, I think, of the Little Mermaid, I want to say, or some Disney character on her arm, but like, she realized afterwards that even if it's right for the character, Disney owns that shit.
Yeah,
so you got to cover that up every time, no matter what.
Every morning.
Yeah. I remember every morning.
And that she should have came to get the white tattoo with me.
God damn. Yeah, it's too bad she's not here so that Rob could have an argument with her about Rob Zombie.
Oh no,
Rob is not a fan. We had this ongoing argument on our normal podcast about Rob just fucking griping about Rob Zombie, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've offered Rob Zombie to come on this show. He's scared.
Yeah, you have not. Right.
Man, you better hope Scott doesn't hear this. Her and Rob are going to be calling y'all out.
Yeah, I know. Better not.
I don't want to be involved in this at all.
I'm not involved. I'm a huge.
I was a big fan of White Zombie. I'm out.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So let's talk about the scares. The scares in this movie were awesome.
Yeah, I watched the featurettes that you sent, Rich, and I don't know if those are available to I know one of them's on the Facebook page, so it is available.
Yeah.
But you sent me the other one too, and I don't know if you're doing a DVD release with that on it, or you did do a DVD release with that on it. But that was some cool shit that you guys put together for being a low budget movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, Vincent Van Dyke
on the on iTunes. If you
if you buy the movie on iTunes, you get the featurettes. They didn't put them on the DVD, which was kind of a bummer. But what are you gonna do? I don't have much control over that stuff.
I don't know if I've seen the featurette, and I own it on iTunes.
They're on the Facebook page too for Ghost House. There's one that's not out yet, which is was about the music because we're about to put a soundtrack out.
Cool.
I can't wait to see that.
So
nice.
and it's all about
studio with the orchestra, and it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, but Vincent Van Dyke designed our ghost with us, and I would do some concept art and send it to him, and then he would make it look like something that my drawing style is kind of cartoony a bit, so he would make it look like actually scary.
Yeah, that was really cool to see that.
See his drawings though. Rich is an incredible artist. These characters that he draws. You can. You post them on your Instagram. I've seen them.
Oh yeah.
And you had a couple of them in the feature, I think, too, in the featurette.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Because I did animatics and I storyboarded the whole movie and stuff. And when it comes to designing scares and stuff, I feel like storyboarding is really helpful. Because then you can pre-visualize everything and figure out if it looks scary on the page, then it'll definitely be scary in the movie. So,
for sure.
Yeah. See, I'm jealous of your types. We were just working on a screenplay, and I can't draw worth shit, man.
Yeah. Oh no. Got to visualize it.
Yeah, you got to tell someone what to do, and then there's always that communication barrier,
Yeah.
I almost forgot how valuable that was. You having those illustrations all the time. The storyboard was this is what we're doing. Okay, cool, totally. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, my DP and I, we tend to use the storyboards because I tend to over storyboard a little bit. I draw sort of more than I need to, but we use them as we use them like a shot list a lot of times rather than an actual shot list. And so we'll just check off the storyboards. We'll print them out and sides and have them on set. And especially the ending, because the ending we had to sort of retool because we didn't really have enough money to do the ending as it was originally written. It was just too heavy. And we also wanted to keep the movie more practical and organic if we could. So
sure.
So we kind of reworked it on the fly, and I was every night after we got done shooting, I would storyboard, for a couple weeks, leading up to shooting the end.
Yeah. I think I'm glad you guys went so practical effect heavy because I mean, that's honestly, that's what the fans love, and that's what they like to see.
I mean, and like you guys said, you're big like '80s horror fans and stuff, and it kind of brought me back a little bit to that too. And but it's newer, special effects too. So it was like a little bit of mix of both, and that's our style too. And that lady with Tabi, gosh, she was just
and I watched that too, and so that was an interesting character, and I know that in the featurette you've worked with her before, and what a cool find,
Yeah, she is awesome. Wen Chu, Wen Chu Yang is like, she's a dancer, and so she can move really well, and she's just very cool and very open to doing crazy shit, and so and she she'd never been in a feature film before, so I was like, you want to play our ghost? And she was like, yeah, hell yeah, so,
nice.
And she's a total sweetheart.
God, did it ever freak you out, James? Like she's like creeping, walking towards you with the movement.
Oh my God.
And
it was so scary. I love Wen Chu so much. She's so sweet and awesome. And but you wouldn't recognize her after Ian Cromer was done with her. I mean, it was so scary.
Yeah, I bet.
I had to do a sex scene with that thing. You think you guys
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was freaky, man. That was scary stuff.
You had a couple sex scenes. I mean, have you done that kind of work before?
That was my first sex scene too, and I felt like the black and white of it was like one of them was like a sweet sex scene, and then one of them was like a raw possessed sex scene. With the ghost, basically.
Best of both worlds.
We did the first one, and I was so nervous. Luckily, the wardrobe girl, we had worked together on this movie called Skateland, which is one of the first movies I did. It was at Sundance in like 2010, nice. Sort of a Dazed and Confused kind of drama. 80s coming of age. But so it made me a little more comfortable, but, we had to, the girl, Scout had to put on like the, like a little nude kind of panty thing. Yeah. And then, the guys got to put on, what they call a cock sock.
Just like Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Oh yeah, of course.
I guess we're shooting in the hotel room.
That's James. That's what Rob has on right now.
With her, whatever it is, I go to get the thing on, and she like glues it like right above my pube, and then like smushes my business down, and then like a G-string going up my butt, and then glues right above my butt crack, and I'm like, this is a cocksock? Or she's like, I am so sorry, I don't have one. All I have is another one of the girls' things. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, we gotta go. Just don't worry about it. And she's like, no, you have to have it. You have to have it. And I was like, okay. So, but there's nothing else. Can we just get like a regular sock or
come on?
And she's like, no, it's like maybe if we had a tan one, but and I was like, anybody got a tan sock? No. So I do the scene right with this thing, and I'm so nervous or whatever, and didn't get excited because I was just like, oh my God, what is this thing? And
that's what I'd be nervous about.
The ghost comes and she gets possessed or she sees it and runs to the bathroom, and I'm like, whoa, what happened, babe? Because I didn't see this ghost thing.
Yeah.
And when I get up to go knock on the door, pew, the little G-string thing comes off, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh, shit.
The whole crew. I'm just knocking, like when I'm knocking on the door, like, babe, I'm just thinking, oh my God, everybody is just staring at my junk right now.
Everyone's looking at my junk.
The DP that Gigi is, he got it. He framed it out just in time to where it's perfect. You might have caught like a hair on my butt crack, but that's about it. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you.
Oh God, that's funny, man.
Yeah, otherwise Rich would have had to give you a bump if we saw full frontal.
Yeah. It was humbling. And
Rich was sitting there laughing the whole time, saying, "Did you tell him we didn't have any more of the regular socks?" Yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, just get a placemat and a staple gun, Yeah.
That's hilarious. Full frontal reminded me of Westworld. When I was doing that, one of the producers pulled me aside and just asked if I was okay with doing nudity, and this was right after all that stuff came out about the extras and Pariah and all the crazy stuff that was happening in Sin City on that, and it was not any of that. It was so professional. But they asked me, and I was like, hell yes, because I knew that meant that I would be in the lab, hopefully with Anthony Hopkins. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yes, I will do it. I will go Vigo on that.
I would do the same thing.
And because I knew my buddy Louis Hertham, also from Louisiana, incredible actor. He plays Dolores' dad.
Okay.
On Westworld. He had to do that scene with Anthony Hopkins and just crushed it. And so, of course, I was thinking about that. And needless to say, I did not get naked in Westworld. You saw. But sorry if you saw.
I saw.
But yeah, I'm putting it out there in the universe. So if you're listening on this podcast,
basically,
it might happen.
Basically, he wants Anthony Hopkins to see him naked. Okay, that's what I'm getting.
He's just painting me. You know, he's an incredible painter. He loves to paint.
Yeah.
You know, Rob's got a cocksock on right now.
Yeah. I wear just in case you don't ever know when Anthony Hopkins is going to show up.
Yeah.
Or come on, Tony, give me your honest opinion. No, paint me like one of your French girls, Tony.
Yeah. Please.
Right.
Please. I'll do anything. We were talking about Veronica earlier, and she's literally texting me right now, so I just think that's funny. She's
nice.
Just the character, man. She's such a. I love V to death. She's
You
great.
could tell you're on the Cult Classic Horror Show right now.
Yeah, I text her. What a podcast with Rich. Jeez, what do you want?
So,
hey, how are you doing? Ryan. How do you say that name? She worked with me on a movie I did in the desert with Sarah Lindsay. She's asking for your phone number. Oh, you guys, I might just got a job. Y'all
no shit. All right. You heard it here first.
Your phone number, it's either a job or a date, man.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
I could use either right about now.
It's those girls from Thailand calling you back, and
if I get a job, I think, and then first things first, let me get a job, and then I'll take you on a date.
Yeah.
So Rich, so you guys had principal photographer over there. You're there for about a month or so. At least the actors were, and then as far as post, I mean, how long did this thing take to come together?
Man, it took a while, actually, again, because it was very, low budget. So once we got back here, it was like, my editor and I, we just worked on it. It was just kind of us. We didn't have an assistant editor or anything. And it was just kind of a slog. And we took some time off after we finished our first cut to kind of show it to people. And he needed to take on a couple of jobs to make some money because, low budget movies,
Yeah.
So, and then once we locked picture, I wrote the music for the film and stuff too. So it's then I had to do the music.
I saw you composed on other films too. So yeah.
The music was great in this. It was definitely. I mean, the music is it's 80%. I mean, it just
you
makes
gotta
the
have
movie.
that in the horror, and it was there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Well,
Creepy
thanks.
as hell.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird, writing the music for your own film because normally when you are, you're working for a director, if what you're doing, they can push you, and so it's like you write some music and maybe they don't like it or something, and then they push you in a certain direction or, and so I didn't have that, so I called some people who I really trust, have them come in and listen to things with me and make sure I wasn't, phoning it in or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
No, man, you certainly weren't. I mean, Rich has a long history of music and film and TV, and that's how I got it started. I mean, we're just so, and that music, that sound is everything in these kind of movies.
Totally.
It is. It's a big part of it.
I feel like we had our work cut out for us. You were.
Yeah. And we didn't really do, there aren't a lot of VFX, but the VFX that we didn't do until picture was locked or anything too. So it was all kind of, it was a longer post schedule than you would expect for, a movie, but
Sure.
it's just because of like trying to save $1.
Yeah,
So.
Of course.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, and when we do these interviews, we always ask, but it's not. You don't always have to share. But do you know like what the ballpark budget was on it?
Well, we haven't done a final accounting, and I'm. I don't know if like my brother or Veronica want me to talk.
Sure,
about
no,
it.
it's no problem.
But
It's
at
no
the same
problem.
time, I mean, look, it was a very low budget movie, but especially internationally, we've done very well. We opened theatrically like all over the world. I mean, in the States, we were kind of a small, like one of the small indie horror films that you see. But like in Thailand, they opened in hundreds of theaters, and it was like big posters everywhere, and we opened like number 2 in the box office there. And
well, that was my next question.
So awesome.
That's awesome.
Was
Hell yeah.
how the distribution went. Obviously, now I watched it on Netflix a couple times, so it's there. But besides that, I mean, take us through the distribution journey it's gone through.
Well, okay, so we've been theatrical in like wide theatrical in probably maybe a dozen countries. We started in Turkey, and then we opened in Thailand and Malaysia and Cambodia and Laos and a bunch of the Southeast Asian countries. And that's really where we did the best. But we also opened theatrically in Russia, and right now actually we're in theaters in Egypt, believe it or not.
wow.
Nice. Hell yeah.
That's
Man,
awesome.
we were in the top 10 movies in Egypt for 3 weeks.
Man,
So
we
it
need
was
a
kind of cool.
t-shirt that says, like,
I know,
I'm
right?
in Egypt.
Yeah, come to Egypt.
I'm big in
That's
Egypt.
Awesome.
You need to get your butt over there, James. Do a cameo appearance.
Oh man, I would. Come on, Egypt Film Fest.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, and then, on home video, we've been distributed or are about to be distributed in just about everywhere. There's some places in Europe, I think, that we still haven't sold some territories. But for the most part, I mean, like we just came out in Japan. We're about to come out in Australia at the end of this month. And so,
That's great.
it's all cool. I mean, like, again, I kind of wish we'd made a bigger splash in the States. But beyond that, I mean, really, for the kind of budget we had and the kind of film we are, we couldn't have really done any better internationally.
I tell you what, though, man, Netflix, as far as reach goes, and then as far as horror goes, is sort of a go-to for at least the community we run, which is a pretty large population of horror fans.
Sure.
Everyone's like, "What's on Net?" Like everyone's always all the time going, "What's some good horror on Netflix?" Like, "What's the good horror on Netflix?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
It's really difficult for a movie, you could say, like Friday the 13th, to make it in today's age where comic book movies have a $450 million budget.
Yeah.
And you're going to get, honestly, you're going to get squashed. It really doesn't necessarily matter what you're making, but Netflix seems to be the new kind of almost indie grindhouse thing. You can get a huge audience on Netflix.
Yeah.
Totally. That's a good way to put it,
right.
actually. And it's kind of interesting because there's like, we came out the same day on Netflix as I think it's called Before I Wake.
Yes.
But,
I see on
and that was a relativity film, and that was a multiple $1 million movie that unfortunately got kind of shit canned because of the whole relativity thing. But you come out next to it, and it's like there's no differentiation. It's not like it's not like they're on 100 screens and we're on 2. It's So it is kind of cool. I mean, and Netflix is it's kind of weird because it's our movie came out on VOD and we had a very small theatrical in the States, and then it came out on DVD, and then it came out on Netflix, and it was just kind of like all of a sudden people are like, oh hey, what's this movie Ghost House? Even though we so
well, we haven't even posted it. We haven't talked much about it. We did a little bit on the podcast of, where you say what's coming up, what's down the pipeline, but we didn't really even post it in our community yet. And I already saw a couple people like, hey, have you guys checked out this movie yet? And it's been Ghost House a couple times.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, you know how I know when something I've done is on Netflix is I start getting a bunch of texts like, hey, saw Taken, saw Carnage Park, saw Ghost House, and I'm like, oh, it must be on Netflix now.
Yep.
Yeah. That's you. James, did you say that where'd you grow up?
I grew up in South Louisiana.
Okay.
I joke that I was born on the bayou, but raised by wolves.
Nice.
That said, I was adopted by a Chitimacha Indian couple, and the only paleface to attend tribal school there.
Wow.
And that's where I spent my adolescence. And I wouldn't trade that experience for the world.
That's great, man.
That's awesome.
At what age? Like what age did you move away or move to LA? Or?
I want to say I started at the Chitimacha Tribal School, and it was the summer after 6th grade, maybe 7th grade.
Yeah.
You know, I started there. I want to say.
Started doing some acting and yeah.
Come again?
When did you start doing acting?
Oh man, I didn't start acting until college. Really. When I left the res, I went to LSU. My family was trying to convince me to be a dentist because that was a safe bet. And to me, it was a fear-based decision. And there was a rebelliousness in me growing up. Kind of like, you're not my parents. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it afforded me the opportunity to think for myself and listen to my gut and follow my dreams. And although pre-dentistry didn't last long, I knew I wanted to work in entertainment. I mean, if I could be anything, I'd be a rock star. And I didn't play music growing up, but I started managing bands in college. And when Katrina was coming, we decided to evacuate to Nashville and record an EP. And we couldn't imagine how bad things had gotten, but managing the band was turning into babysitting, I feel like, and I just I couldn't put my future in someone else's hands.
No.
And my family really needed help, so I came back and I got a job on an oil rig to help out, and I couldn't work for money for long doing that. I knew it was wrong, and they started shooting movies there post Katrina, and I got a job as an extra in a movie, and then I saw the stand-ins had it a little better, so I started working my way towards that. But I sure as hell quit the rig and traded $60 a day for $600.
Yeah,
and it was the best thing I ever did. A casting director, Liz Coulon in New Orleans, she offered me a job as her assistant, and that was one of the best things to happen to me. And that was really my second education in how to book a job and what it is to, make a good audition tape these days. I mean, that's everything. Those are lottery tickets. You make a good tape. You could book from tape these days. What I always loved about acting is that you, even if I didn't have the resume at the time, I could outwork the other person. If I was just a psychopath about it and worked on it, more than anyone else, then I would shine. And slowly but surely,
that's awesome.
It started to catch up to me. And I'm just so grateful to be a working actor now. Because thinking back then, that just seemed like a dream, but with nothing to lose. I had everything to gain, and if I can do it, anybody can. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Great inspiration.
Do you still have family back there that's like just fucking psyched about what you're doing now?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, especially with Stranger Things, I'm so grateful to be on something with kids that my little cousins can watch, because normally I do these dark dramatic pieces and my God-fearing family is they're like, Jamie, why are you getting these bad characters, these bad guys? I don't get it.
So they didn't enjoy Carnage Park then?
Oh no! I mean, what would people at church think about that?
Yep.
They still tell everybody you're a dentist, right? No, he's still.
Well, what's funny is I said that my dream was to. I was like, I'll be a dentist, but I'm going to do grills for rappers.
There you go.
Was to do Lil Wayne's grill, and if I could do Lil Wayne's grill, I would have like the whole rap game on lock.
Oh, you totally would.
That was my master diabolical plan.
Yeah.
To be rebellious and still be a dentist.
Damn.
And my uncle is a dentist, so is his father, and he ended up just recently transferring to Angola prison. He's the prison dentist.
Jeez.
And
Wow.
I've never seen him happier. It's
Really? Wow.
I feel like he's exacting justice in his own way.
Yeah.
And-
Well,
wow.
his patients don't complain in Angola.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I got one wisdom tooth pulled by him, and he's old school. He's hardcore, and he's like, "Here's a couple Tylenol." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the other one done back in Los Angeles. Thank you."
Yeah.
You aren't going to numb
Bite
my
down on the
gums?
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna do it like we do in prison. But Angola is famous for the Angola prison rodeo. It's bulls versus cons. It's the wildest show in the South, and it's they do it twice a year now. It's so popular, and it's the prison system is so fucked up. Anybody who's seen the 13th knows that. But
Yeah.
it's in some ways it's also a really good thing for some of the people who were stuck there and trying to rehabilitate themselves.
Yeah.
They sell a lot of art at these things, and just it just helps keep the beast at bay, because locking a human, I don't think it really helps that.
Yeah.
As far as rehabilitation goes, we all know it's like the prison system is a business, but he is the dentist at Angola prison.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
There's your next movie, Rich. I feel it.
Yeah.
Totally. The prison dentist, yeah.
Yeah.
Prison dentist.
The wildest show in the South.
From Ghost House to the Big House.
Yeah.
I I always wanted to do a horror movie where I played like a crazy dentist. I always thought
Yeah.
my uncle would love that, and I don't know. Maybe we could work it around the prison or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go filming in Angola.
We'll start working on the script.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, so Rich, I mean, this one's under the belt. You have something else in the works? You planning on doing more horror, or what are you thinking?
Well, I like dark material. I just can't help myself. I mean,
course.
we do a ton of music videos and stuff, but right now my brother and I we're developing a bunch of projects. We don't have anything that's about to go just yet, but we have 2 or 3 things in the hopper that are they're in their nascent stages, but they're very cool. Matter of fact, there's one project we're working on right now that we're about to start pitching, at the studios and stuff. And I think it's the coolest thing we've ever come up with. So,
awesome. Our next movie in Thailand? That's awesome. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
James will even just hold the boom. He just wants to be there.
Yeah, dude. Whatever it takes, man. I'll be there.
Or the leaf blower.
No.
Yeah.
We actually have a pitch that we're working on that's also set in Thailand, James. So
But
keep one bag packed.
Yeah. Keep your Thailand bag packed.
right now, bro.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, and obviously, James, I mean, we had to work around your schedule a little bit today because of auditions. You're staying busy. You got some things coming up as well, I assume.
Oh, man, thank you so much. Yeah, pilot season is in full swing, and although I may be revisiting some things I've been a part of before, that's not going to stop me from getting out there and doing my art therapy. I just love
Hell yeah.
work and on great material, and there's so much great stuff coming out. But thank you guys for your patience and for recognizing that. That's just part of being a working actor. Even though you're on some of the hottest shows in town, it's you just gotta keep doing it with the same enthusiasm and chipping away. And whether you get it or not, you got to give it your all.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just about finding something more important to work out in that audition, something in your own life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Well, I mean, Rich, it's on Netflix. Should we go tell people to go anywhere else to get it or see it? You can get the DVD, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's on DVD. Obviously, it's on. I mean, it's basically any of the VOD platforms.
Sure.
You can see it there. But I mean, it's on Netflix now, and so if you're paying your $12 a month, you might as well watch it there.
Yeah.
So there are a large number of pirate sites that have it too. So.
Yeah, of course.
The bane of our existence, but
there always is, right?
Yeah, totally.
iTunes and on iTunes too.
Yeah.
Very quickly, like the day it came out on iTunes, you know, as soon as it comes out on iTunes, it's basically pirated. You know, so like it was still in theaters in Southeast Asia, and it came out on iTunes, and somebody had posted the entire film on YouTube.
Oh.
And we got this panicked call from the Thai distributors, and in 2 days it got 3 million views.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Rich, sorry about that. I was
down.
just
We
really
finally-
excited about the movie.
Yeah. It was all James. He was doing it.
Yeah, Rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you know that stuff stings. But
Yeah.
but no,
Well,
you know,
I just
yeah,
got
you can
my
see it.
first residual check for Ghost House, and it was a lifesaver, much like that trip when you took me out of the States. And,
Nice.
but yeah, I can't help but think it would be exponentially bigger if it had not been put on YouTube.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Right?
You never know.
Yeah.
God.
Well, yeah, you don't know what. I mean, it definitely, I think, kind of hurt our box office in Southeast Asia a little bit. It was kind of a drag, but you know, that's just how it goes these days. So
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Be aware of those.
no point in being bitter. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's happened to everyone. Yeah.
Move it along. At least they got to see your work, right? That's all it
Yeah,
matters.
exactly.
There's that. You know,
Exactly.
name recognition. I guess I don't know.
Well, this is the first of many from the Ragsdales and hopefully myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Definitely.
sure.
We love the movie, guys. It was just
Yeah.
it was awesome. I mean, for all those horror fans, this is definitely one that you guys need to see, and you know, have everything that you like wrapped into one movie. So it was
You know, props
it was awesome.
to Kevin for holding the leaf blower.
Yep,
You
yep.
know?
Props,
Yeah.
props to Kevin.
Yeah,
And for being in it,
Kevin's a
too.
multi-talented producer. He acts, he produces, and he also blows leaves.
He's
Yep.
a triple threat, man. He's a
Triple threat.
I love that guy.
Well, shit. Well,
Yeah.
Well, do you? I mean, if you guys, if you have any closing thoughts you want to share or anything like that about the experience?
Oh,
Man, you know. Oh,
I mean-
go ahead, James.
I'm just so grateful to be able to share this journey with everyone else. It was the most incredible journey of my life and such an adventure. I'm so grateful to have been a part of it. But, you know, for other people to see just a glimpse of that and all the incredible locations, Thailand, I mean, see this movie and don't be scared of Thailand. Rich has a ghost house in his front yard.
That is true.
Speaking of art
Creepy
being
ghost
lost,
house.
You'll see how it goes in the movie, but yeah, go to Thailand, man. The people are beautiful. I love it so much. I just dream of a day when I can go back there. And Veronica, I blame you that I'm not there now.
Yep. Oh man.
Well, thanks for having us, guys. I mean, it was a really, it was a very tough thing to do to make Ghost House. It was probably the hardest thing that we ever did, but it was also just a total blast, and I hope that people dig it. We really appreciate the support, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You got anything else,
Yeah,
Rob?
thank you, guys.
Yeah.
No, I really did enjoy the movie. I'm looking forward to the Angola Prison of Doom dentistry thing that everybody's gonna be working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very good. I look forward to seeing a lot more. Like you said, it was you had the budget was small, but it looked great. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
You could watch a movie and it could have a $5 million budget, and you're like, well, this looks like it was filmed on a Nokia. But this movie looked good. It looked very good. I mean, watching it on Netflix, I highly recommend it. It's a very, very good movie. And I'm not going to say it was like super well acted. I don't want to, give James a big head or anything. No, it was very good. The characters were good. And just the whole idea of the ghost house is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Something
you've ruined it for
I've
any-
never heard of before.
You've ruined it for everyone going to Thailand for the first time.
Yeah.
They're going to be scared of those things. They're going to be walking down the street going, holy shit, don't go near that fucking thing.
Or if you go near it, you're going to see some lady pop out and scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. Just don't fuck with the scary looking ones. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone, for making the time and jumping on with us.
Yeah, it was an honor having you guys on too. So thank you for James, you guys for both Rich for joining us.
So
awesome. The pleasure's
no
all
problem.
mine. Reliving this experience with anyone is just just makes me so happy. So thank you for listening.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, good one. Thank you guys for listening, and hey, we'll catch you on the next episode. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Cool. Take it easy, guys.
Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.